Hello and welcome everybody to today's webinar. It's 3:00. So as you're coming in, just drop your grade level and your content area down in the chat for us and your favorite teacher beverage. I am here with Kelly. Kelly, what is your favorite teacher beverage?
I'm going to probably go with the boring coffee. Coffee was my go-to in the classroom, and it's still my go-to.
I have recently got into Alani, and I know that energy drinks are not the go-to, but it's good, clean energy drinks, I think. Either way, they taste amazing. We've got Katie here, 8th grade English, Diet Coke. I'm a Diet Coke lover too. Secondary ELA Tosa and coffee. Yes. Well, as you guys, the coffee for sure. Caffeine for teachers. So as you're coming in, just drop your grade level, your content area, your favorite teacher beverage. We'll just go ahead and jump straight into this today. First and foremost, I do want to share with you that this webinar is part of our test prep playoffs with Class Companion. So we know that test prep can be super stressful. We're gamifying it. We're going to make it fun. We're going to make it engaging. We're going to make it rewarding for both you and your students. Try to make it a little bit more fun than it normally is. And here's how it kind of works. When you register for this test prep playoffs, you're going to get a test prep playbook, which is your go-to guide for making test prep easier. And inside of that playbook, you're going to get a test prep bingo board. It's got fun, effective, done for you activities to really help your students get ready and to make it fun. And good news, if you are here today, live or watching the replay, you've already completed your first bingo square. So we are giving away tons of amazing prizes at the end of the month and special awards for anybody who completes a full blackout on their bingo board. So by the end of this webinar, you're going to have even more tools to check off those squares and help your students succeed. So if you want to register for free, all you have to do is go to bit.ly/testprepplayoffs, and you will get this lovely thing here for you to complete. So also, I have not mentioned this yet either, but if you are here, Bridget's here, Diet Dr. Pepper. Ooh, I love me some Diet Dr. Pepper too. I have not mentioned this yet, but if you are here and live, then you do get a 7-day free trial, premium trial of our premium insights. So you get that for coming today. So quick introductions, if we have never met before, my name is Brittany Blackwell. I am the marketing and community lead here at Class Companion. I am also a veteran teacher of 13 years, mostly middle school. Where are my middle school teachers? I saw a couple of 8th grade teachers there, but I taught the majority of my career in special education. I also host a top 100 education podcast for burned out teachers called the Resilient Teacher Podcast. And I am super excited to be here with Kelly today. So Kelly, I will turn it over to you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelly Bettencourt. I'm currently an instructional technology coordinator for Twin Rivers Unified, which is in Northern California. But prior to going into that, I was a classroom teacher. I say I'm a recovering classroom teacher. I taught for 16 years. So I also taught middle school. Shout out to my middle school teachers. You're doing the best you can do. It's a rough few years. And then I also taught high school science. I taught biology and chemistry. So I spent 16 years in the classroom. So everything where I come from is from that teacher background. So I'm really, really happy to be here and talking about Class Companion today because it's amazing.
Yes. I'm so excited to have you here because we're going to be talking about some CAASPP. And that is not always a fun topic to discuss, right? But we're going to make it fun. So this is what we're going to be covering today. Obviously, what is Class Companion? And yes, it is free in advance if you didn't already know that. And why test prep on Class Companion. We're going to talk about how to find and create CAASPP-aligned assignments, finding CAASPP rubrics for standards-based feedback, and then the instant AI feedback and student improvement and tracking progress and identifying gaps before test day. So that's what we will get into, and we will open it up for questions. So if you guys have any questions during this whole thing, or if you just have a statement to make, please feel free to use the comments. I'll be in the comments checking and as well. And so we'll be able to see those as well. So first off, I got to know, people who are here, how familiar are you with Class Companion? We're going to do something called a waterfall, okay? Because there's not like a ton of people here. I think we could probably do it. But before you put your answer in the comments, I want you to wait, okay? So once I say go, everybody's going to hit the send button at the same time, okay? And Kelly and I are going to do it too. So how familiar are you with Class Companion? Are you brand new? Have you got your feet wet? Or are you a pro? So we're going to put that in the chat really quick. And we are not going to hit enter just yet. I'm going to give us a countdown. All right. So at the count, we're going to count down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. So me and Kelly are pros. I'm a pro, but honestly, there are things that I'm learning all the time about Class Companion and its capabilities, because once you have Class Companion under your belt, the creativity that you can have to actually, get those assessments done, or just to get like formative information, is just amazing. Bridget said she's got her feet wet. Deborah is brand new. Katie, feet wet a little, a little bit. And Katie also got her feet wet. William, brand new. Fiona, brand new. Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. And for, if you are brand new, let me just kind of give you the rundown here. Okay. So first and foremost, before we hop into this CAASPP test prep, if you've never heard of Class Companion, or if you are brand new, this is what you need to know. Class Companion is an AI-powered tool, and it is designed to help teachers give instant, high-quality feedback without you spending hours grading. And what we know about teachers is if we could give that one-on-one support to every student in our classroom, we would, right? But as humans, we just don't have that capacity. And so what Class Companion does is it allows us to give students that one-on-one support. And it's like having an extra set of hands in the classroom, helping students to improve in real time during the writing process, making your job easier and making students get that straight progress. Here's what it can do, okay? You create assignments in minutes. You can import, you can generate, or you can customize assignments aligned with your curriculum, including what we're talking about today, CAASPP-aligned practice. And it's going to give you that instant AI-powered feedback. They're going to get that guidance so that students can make those corrections before they turn in their work. That is amazing, because if they're not getting that immediate feedback, they're not able to iterate in real time. It also has built-in rubrics and grading support, so you can say goodbye to manually scoring every single response. Class Companion applies that CAASPP test rubric for you to ensure that consistency and save that time. So you can also track student progress effortlessly, so you're getting clear insights into strengths, gaps, trends before test day, so you know exactly where to focus your instruction. And the best part, it's free. So if you're joining us live today, don't forget you get 7 days of free premium access, so you can experience all of the full power of Class Companion for yourself, with some really great insights that are only available for premium users. And you're going to know exactly how to create these aligned practice tests in minutes. So I'm going to, Kelly, would you like me to share my screen, or do you want to share your screen for this next part?
You can show the next part if you want.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment and reopen up a window so that we can see this. For this, you're going to need your own Class Companion account. And so I'm going to log in really quickly. There we go. and present. There we go. All right, so this is what Class Companion looks like when you first log in. It'll have your name, and then it'll have your classes here as well. And if you're brand new, you will also have a demo class here. So Kelly, do you want to go and talk a little bit about the CAASPP procedures?
Yeah, of course. So you want me to talk about like how to find them first? Yeah. So if you're doing a little bit of background, my district was obviously doing some CAS test prep, and we're doing some pilots right now with Class Companion about a few schools that have chosen to use Class Companion specifically for CAS prep. So really excited to see that amazing data when it comes out. So in order to find these, go into your content library. So if you want to click on content library, and then down in public assignments. Perfect. And then it's a simple, the easiest way to do it is just to type in the CAASPP in the search box. And then you'll notice a ton of filters. So you can filter these by subject, by standard even. A lot of teachers have been doing just the grade level, so they might not choose subject or standard, but they'll just do grade. So we can do example, maybe 8th grade. I always pick middle school. So maybe 8th. And as you can see, they're starting to filter out those CAASPP. So they already have a ton of, looks like some teacher-created CAASPP assignments, but then Class Companion CAASPP assignments as well. So you can see who they're created by. Once you see one that you might like these argumentative ones are amazing. So that grade 8 reading and comprehension. So click on actions and then view assignment if you want to take a peek at what that looks like. So here you can see it looks like we have a source. It's got a passage here. So if you scroll down, you can see the passage, and then it will come to, it's got multiple choice questions. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 multiple choice, and then another passage, another multiple choice. And by the way, you can take a look at all of these. It looks like multiple choice, but you can add questions if you'd like. Another one. Yep. So it looks like 12 questions. Keep scrolling down. What I do like about the CAASPP, some of the CAASPP questions are there, and they just added this feature to Class Companion, is that you can pick 2. So because there's a lot in the CAASPP, there's a lot of pick the 2 best. So that's now an option in Class Companion. So super happy they added that.
So it looks like this one is a lot of multiple choice.
A lot of multiple choice, yeah. It says mixed though, so there might be a short answer there at the bottom.
I didn't see one there. Let's try.
Or expository, maybe.
Want to try expository?
Oh, this one says mixed. That one said short answer too.
Let's check.
Yeah, I thought it said, yeah, it's got the short answer rubric in there.
Yeah. And what's really cool is, okay, now I can see it's the 1A, the short answer from the excerpt sentence. Yeah. What's really cool is you can actually, if you wanted to see what this looked like, you could add it to your class and then you can adjust it. So I'm going to add it to my class. Try again.
Yeah, what happened?
Let's try this. I love tech.
I've never seen that before.
I have not either.
Yeah, I always recommend to preview as a student so you can go in and really see what the students are seeing and try out the responses, how you know that your students would probably respond to make sure that the feedback is kind of what you would say, or really target the assignment more if it's not.
Katie asked a question in the chat. Why are questions labeled 1A, 1B, 1C? It's a really good question. The reason is because these questions in this specific section are all grouped together for the AI to know that it should reference this specific source. So you'll notice like 1B is still asking questions from that specific passage. But if we went to a different passage, it's going to change. It will change to point 1 there. So it'll tell you like this is going to this specific source. So it's just to kind of help the AI to know where it's going and how to answer that question. So real quick, I just kind of want to try it out. From the excerpt, write the sentence that explains the main argument for choosing subtitles over dubbing. And right down here in the bottom right-hand corner, Kelly, have you played with Ditto?
Yes, I am obsessed. It's so easy because I was doing some science examples. And so I was putting on my, 7th grade student hat and saying, I don't know, I forget what the mitochondria does. And so you talk to it like a student, and it's lovely because you can try it out. You can put something in there. It won't give them the right answer. Like it won't just tell them. It prompts them. It prompts them to lead them to the correct answer, but without giving the correct answer away, which was really important for my teachers.
I taught special education, and so a lot of my students didn't know how to get started, and they really struggled with that. And I don't know about you, but 10 kids in my class raising their hand all at the same time to say, I don't know what to do. And now we've got Ditto here where I can be having, a small group over to the side, and my student can still get that support that they need from Ditto. So I just said, I'm not sure what to say in my sentence. And Ditto's like, that's okay. Let's think about the main point of the passage. Like, what's the main reason that the author gives for preferring subtitles over dubbing? So again, did not answer the question for me, but just kind of gave me a little bit more prompting and a different way of asking the question to give me that support.
Which is what you would exactly do as a teacher. Like, we don't give the answer. We just say it in a little bit different way and kind of guide them to where they need to go without giving it all away.
And what's so powerful about this when you allow for Ditto, because you do have the choice in the submission part there, you can choose to turn Ditto on or off. And so if you are giving your students that test prep where they're able to see, how am I going to answer these questions? What is this going to look like? They can ask Ditto for help. But if you're wanting to provide a more test-like environment, that's when you could turn it off so that they are getting that more, I guess the word, what I'm looking for is they're getting that same environment as they would test. Yeah. So let's see how it looks in correlation with the rubric. So this assignment is already created with the CAASPP rubric. So it pulls it straight from there. So I could say, let's just give a silly answer. And also it has multiple attempts here. So if you're wanting your students to get that immediate feedback, to be able to iterate and change how they're responding, you can offer as many as I think 9 attempts. But most of the time, 2 attempts is pretty good. So how might you answer that question, Kelly?
Let's see. It's wanting to write the sentence with the main argument. Well, I know when I do this for teachers, they go, just put in IDK.
No. Okay. So first thing, it's like, nope. Correct. And it offers me that same response. So I don't have to copy and paste it or anything like that. It gives me that same response that I can kind of build off of. And here, maybe I want to say, let's try to give it one of those answers that you don't actually know the answer for, but you give use the words, the key phrases, right? So the main argument, I'm just going to repeat the question. Main argument for choosing subtitles over dubbing is that subtitles are better. Okay, so I use the key words, right? But am I actually answering the question the way that the CAASPP rubric would grade me. And it still tells me it's incorrect. So it's not just looking for those keywords that you might say, oh, well, you definitely read the question. No, it's actually looking for accuracy too. So it says, it looks like you tried to summarize the main argument, but for this question, you need to write the exact sentence. Like, I need to know what exactly from here is going to give me that response. So I'm going to have to use some evidence to support my response. And same with multiple choice too. I can give a multiple choice answer and submit, and it's going to give me not only this answer is correct, but it's going to give me the reasoning for that. And that's so powerful for students. What have you noticed, Kelly, when students are getting that immediate feedback? How are they responding?
So it's great because they've been used to, they've been trained in education just to be like, oh, it's wrong. I got it wrong. But then, it doesn't go into their thinking about why they got it wrong or why the correct answer is actually the correct answer. So what I like when they get feedback, they're actually like, oh, that's what I hear a lot. Oh, that makes sense. Or, okay, I see what I did, because they're actually getting explained, where they went wrong in their line of thinking. So it's just really powerful to get that instantaneously versus waiting a week and not caring at all.
Right. And the thing about it is, I've heard this statement about basketball before, and I don't know if it's the test prep playoffs that have got me thinking about basketball, but if you were to throw a ball into a basket, right, and you didn't find out till the next week if you got it in or not, how are you going to make those adjustments? You're not in that same mindset that you were a week ago, right? And that's the same with students too. And this is why this is powerful, is that they get that immediate feedback. They're able to make those changes. And so therefore they're progressing. But it's important to also note, there are situations where maybe it's not answering correctly. And so we have these here where students can flag their response. So this is really powerful too, because if, say, I think I'm right on this, the student's like, no, I'm right. I am correct. They can give you the reasoning. And I think this is really powerful too, because if a student is able to even reason with why they should have gotten it right, sometimes you might say, oh, well, maybe you do need, partial credit, or maybe they are making progress. And so that's giving us a little bit more insight into that as well. Have you used this part, Kelly?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, just the fact that they can do that they can file a dispute, means that they're going to actually have to actively think about the question and their answer. So what I used to do, test corrections, and I would always have them explain your reasoning. Why did you pick that answer? And why is this the right answer? So just getting them actually engaging with the content. And that's what this does, but automates it now.
Yes. I think that's powerful too. And this little button here, I think it gets lost sometimes, but students can see the source beside the question, which is really great too, because I don't know about you guys, but when I took these tests and they were on paper, I was having to flip back and forth and back and forth. And now we can have them side by side to make it a little bit easier for students as well. So this is just one of the CAASPP test practice tests. And you can preview it again as a student. So that's what we were doing there. But then we can also look at the rubrics. And this one's not working here for us specifically. Let me take it back. Kelly, do you want to guide me to where I can find the CAASPP rubrics?
Yeah, so go into public rubrics. We're on the left-hand side, and that'll pull up. Again, you can do your search. So I would type in the CAASPP, so CAASPP. And then you can filter again. So the type format creator, or clear the filters. But those will give you, if you want to click to class companion maybe. And those will give you the CAASPP rubrics. So as you can see, those are those 10-point rubrics based on grade and whether it's your performance task or informational or argumentative. But all of those CAASPP rubrics are there. which is, I mean, just phenomenal practice, because then they're used to, oh, I got to beef up my evidence. Oh, I got to beef up my support, or, oh, I have to beef up this piece of that specific CAASPP rubric. There. And then, yeah, I can click on preview to take a look, make sure it's the right one. But all of those CAASPP rubrics are directly built in, so you don't have to go and find them on the CAASPP website, which is not the most easiest platform to navigate. They are already in Class Companion. Thank you very much for having those there.
Yeah. And Katie asked, can anyone add resources? So that's a great question. In the public assignment section, we do monitor that, but for the majority of situations, you can look for specific creators, and creators can also choose to share that or not share their public assignments. They don't have to be public assignments. They can be private assignments that you just create. Same with rubrics. So you can look in the public rubric section for other creators and things like that. Like, for instance, right here, I can see a CAASPP assignment from Jamie Delgado. And it looks like introducing a narrative. So we could even take a look at what her specific assignment is and what specific rubric. So you could use her assignment, but you could adjust it to add in the CAASPP rubric instead of just a generic rubric. And yes, Katie, they are vetted on some level. These are approved by our team. So if they follow a specific criteria, then they're approved.
If they were looking, though, for like just the Class Companion ones, you can easily do that in the filter section too, if you just wanted to stick to the known Class Companions.
Yeah, so you would just filter it by creator.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Class Companions pop up there. I do wonder if I could add this to a class. Let's see, so that people can see what this looks like when you actually can. So if I wanted to use this creators, it already has a lot of information already pulled for me. But as a teacher, I always recommend that everybody go through the assignment and look to make sure that it makes sense for your specific students, right? So maybe I like this source, but I don't necessarily, maybe I don't like the question, right? Write an introduction to the story that sets up the action to come. I can go in and I can change this. So maybe I just don't like the question. I can say, I don't know what the question might be, but I could change it if I wanted to. You can also, again, like I mentioned, if you don't want them to have access to Ditto, you can turn that off too. And the same with rubrics. So here in this situation, actually, it's not going to let me change the rubric on this one. But you can normally delete that, and then you can change the rubric to which you would like. Are there any specific submission settings, Kelly, that you like?
The disable pasting is one of is a teacher favorite for sure, and then obviously the multiple attempts. So yeah, they get up to 8 attempts, which is a lot of attempts, but you can change that. And then let's see, yeah, usually two or 3 is usually good. I actually like the unordered questions. I think it's nice for them to be able to skip around, or you can turn that off, obviously, and have them do it in a specific order if you want them to. The default, as you're seeing on the screen, is instant feedback. So when the students get their feedback is instantly. That's obviously my favorite, but you can put it into other delayed or like after the assignment closes. So they all get their feedback at once.
And I think those are specific to more like that summative assessment versus maybe the formative assessment. So if you're wanting to do something more summatively, you can do that. But the instant is I think that's the power of Class Companion, is in the formative assessment there.
Yep, absolutely. And
You can
then
also
time limits. Oh, we didn't show how you can, the students, I always get asked this question too. Can the students see the rubric within the assignment? And yes, they can. It's up at the top, but you can turn that on and off if you want them to see the rubric. I always made my rubrics very apparent for my students because I wanted them to know how to succeed on the assignment. So having a rubric is really important for that. But there's circumstances where you might not want that to happen, so you can turn that on and off.
Setting the time limit is something that a lot of AP teachers are really into because they like to set the time limit. But it also kind of allows students to complete an assignment in class. They're kind of like forced to do that. Katie asked another question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Pacing being an accessibility feature. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I believe, I don't know if you can set that up in the students' accommodations. But I could absolutely see that. So yeah, for like an accommodation, if they need to type it up in like Google Docs or something to help them, and then they can paste over. Yeah, absolutely.
You can also hide scores from students, which is another really powerful one too, because we have students, I mean, at least I had students who were only looking to get a specific score and were not necessarily looking at that feedback. And so removing the option for them to see the score, like, allowed them to just be like focused on the actual feedback and then making the changes that they need to make. And then the one you said was disable pasting here. And you can disable pasting, but like Kelly was mentioning, for accommodations, it's not a specific accommodation, but you could create this exact assignment and allow pasting for that student and only give this student that assignment, if that makes sense. And just because we kind of mentioned accommodations and because I'm a special educator at heart, we do offer text-to-speech and speech-to-text as well as translation for students. And we do response integrity. So Kelly, do you want to talk a little bit about the power of response integrity?
Yeah, well, it's nice that they do have the detect pasting in there. So it will, on the teacher end, the teacher insights, it'll flag you if a student did any pasting into their response. It'll also detect like copying and leaving. So if they leave the tab, it'll let you know. It'll give you a little, it'll flag that as well. Detect typing anomalies and then just similar responses. I actually haven't seen that in practice, what that looks like, but it's one of the options.
Yeah. So on the teacher side of an assignment, and I'll just kind of show you what a teacher side of an assignment is since we kind of made it to this. And these are all fake students. But you can see disputed, you can see complete, you can see pasting. And so it'll pop up similar to that, where you can see similar responses. It'll have a little tab here that says similar responses, and you'll actually see the individual student's name beside that. So they'll be able to see. So like, for instance, you can see where the student disputed, which specific criteria, and then you can also see the student did not paste into their response.
And I love the flagging piece on the insights for the teachers, because you don't necessarily have time to go through each and every one. But it'll, like, especially for the disputes, it just pops up immediately like, hey, this student wants to dispute this. Perfect. Click, click, click.
And for those teachers who are like, I still feel the need to be very, very involved, as you should, because your expertise is very important. You can also make adjustments to a student's final score too. So you can change that final score and then give the students the reasoning behind that, so that they are aware of those things. The last thing I would show is, I'm gonna see if I can pull up. I don't have any in my fall ELA class. Looking for a specific type of assignment. Kelly, you also have another way that you have talked about while I'm looking for this. You've talked about another way that you have done CAASPP test prep too. Can you share that?
Yeah. Do you want me to share my screen?
You're more than welcome to if you'd like to.
Okay. I can do that here. I'll just show you a couple of things. So somebody had asked, like, can you, hold on. Oh, I don't know if I can. Let's do, hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. Somebody was asking before. Window, there we go. There we go. Can you upload or use your own assignments for them? So in my district, we have lesson design teachers, and they had created all these beautiful CAASPP test prep documents, like summative assessments at the end of the unit, basically that mirror the performance tasks on the CAASPP. And so they had made these Google slides, which had showing you here. So it's got sources on volcanoes, and then some multiple choice questions, a short answer, and more multiple choice questions. And I'm like, it's great. It's a great practice for the CAASPP. It's like almost exactly like what they're going to see. But this would take way too long for teachers to grade. So by the time that they would, have analyzed all those short answer responses from their 175 middle school students, the students no longer are interested in improving. So how do we take that and build it into something that could be more automated, like CAS Companion? So all I did was file and download that as a PDF. And then in Add Assignment, I just imported it. So I imported that assignment into Class Companion from the slides. Oops, let's escape. And it shows up like this. I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, let me go into here. It shows up, here we go, exactly how it was in the slides, but now what students will see is they'll see that text, they'll see the source, they get those multiple choice questions, which they'll get answered immediately, and then that short answer response will be immediately given feedback for. So I showed them how to do this, and it was under 5 minutes that I created the assignment. So it pulled all of the text over, pulled all the questions over exactly word for word. It didn't redo them like a lot of AI does. So that was one way that they're getting CAS practice. And the other was basically doing the same thing, but taking them directly from the sample items.smarterbalance.org. So these are their past test released questions for the CAASPP that you can go in, pick your grade level, pick the, ELA or math, pick reading or writing. Let's do one of these. And then download that as a PDF and then pull it directly into, same process, pull it directly into Class Companion. So now instead of this wonky thing that you would have to grade somewhat either by hand or, in a Google form or something, still one by one, the kids can get immediate, instant, actionable feedback. So that was pretty powerful.
Yes, I love that. I love that you did it that way, because not only can California teachers do that, right? But like any teacher from any state that has a state test prep, it can be done exactly the same way. So I really like that a lot. The last thing that I will share is I'm going to reshare my screen again and showcase a couple of additional things on what it actually looks like when your students complete an assignment and how you can kind of use this. So the other part of this is actually seeing what are your students receiving as scores, right? Like not only are they getting this immediate feedback, but what can we do with the information and the data from that? And so what's really great about this is you should be able to see a demo class in your free account, and you can see the class analytics and insights, but you can also narrow it down to student by student and then also by assignment, which is really powerful here. So once you have some actual data here, you'll be able to see the average score, how long it took the students to do an assignment. And in your demo class, you do have Hermione and Ron. And as you would assume, Hermione is doing amazing work and Ron is falling a little bit behind. But again, you can see these by student, and you can actually click into the students here, or you can look at them by assignments. So you're able to see, you know, are they above average for the class? How many attempts are they making, right? Because if your students are not making multiple attempts and you're offering that, maybe that's a conversation you need to have with those students, right? And then also, how many AI tutor messages are they sending, right? Like, are they actually getting support as they need it? And once there's enough information here, these are the two big insights that you can see as a premium user. So that is what you get for being here today. You get 7 days of premium access. So you'll be able to see a more in-depth summary. What are your students' strengths, but also what are their weaknesses, so that you can kind of tailor some assignments for them, or you can change how you like your actual lessons too. And then again, I don't think that Hermione would be pasting as many times as she does, but apparently she is, and I can't believe this one here. But you're able to see multiple different types of assignments: English, biology, history, geography, and also Spanish. So those are some powerful things there. And then also by rubric. So this will be great for those CAASPP specific rubrics. You'll be able to kind of break it down. Are a lot of your students having trouble with one specific part of that rubric? All right, let's do some extra support around that. And just while we're here, I mentioned the accommodations. You can do that here as well. So you can change the reading level for feedback, reading level for excerpts. I do not recommend that if you have students who are reading on grade level, especially for test prep. You should more than likely keep it that way, especially for test prep, even if you have students who are reading off grade level, in order for them to see what they're going to be receiving on the test. But translation, text to speech, speech to text, and extended time. Did I miss anything, Kelly?
No, not on the accommodations. I think it's really important, especially if you have students that, you know, speak a different language, for them to be able to interact with the AI and get their feedback how they need it. But then you as a teacher, it's automatically set to your language. So it reduces a lot of the barriers in a classroom.
And once you kind of change it there, they choose their preferred language. So it will translate not only, you know, the assignment, but also the feedback as well. And if you are a California teacher, you should see a little pop-up like this up at the top that says something about CAASPP, so that you can find those assignments. This one for me is just pulling up SAT, but on yours it should probably say CAASPP. Let me go back to let me make sure I hit on everything that we want to hit on. We talked about tracking progress, instant AI feedback. What questions do you guys have? We have we went a little bit long, Kelly. Let's see what kind of questions we have in the chat. I don't see any right this minute, but let's open it up just in case.
Or if anyone wants to see anything specific.
Yeah. And I do want to remind you guys that we are doing this as part of like a test prep playoff, kind of making it fun and games, and like giving you little tasks to do along the way. But yeah, Katie says she follows you on Instagram. I love that.
Thanks, yeah, absolutely. I'm doing a session tomorrow too. So if you want to stop by at 10:30, it's in Mojave, where I'll be covering Class Companion during the session too. But I'll post my email in here for you as well. Feel free to reach out, or you can reach out on Instagram too. Just send me a message. Yeah, I'm hoping that there's not my Wi-Fi did go out during my session last year, so I am. Oh, you're not here. Oh, boo. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and reach out. Yeah, I didn't have Wi-Fi during my session, which was super fun for a tech conference.
That's the way that it is at a tech conference too, though, isn't it?
Yes.
So how many grades are doing the pilot, Kelly?
It's basically, we're doing 5 to 8 schools, and it's mainly 6 through mainly middle schoolers, a few fourth and sixth, but mainly 4 to 8. A lot of middle school. Yeah. Which is great.
A lot of middle. Yeah. I'm telling you, I love middle school.
The kids are really liking it too. Like they're big fans of getting their results like right away. Like especially when I taught middle and high, they were always coming up, what did I get? What did I get? What did I get? And this is just instantaneous. So students are really, really liking it too.
Yeah. And I think it's really neat. I didn't showcase this, but there is a school that is doing some handwritten assignments because they are very concerned about students completing written work on computers, having a lot of issues with that. And so you can upload handwritten assignments as well. So I do want to give that little shout out there. Not that would be great for CAASPP prep, but in general, it is a really cool feature. Katie said she's excited to try the 7-day trial. If you are interested in attending more webinars, we do have them on our website, classcompanion.com/events. I also recommend that you follow us on social media. We are class.companion on TikTok and Instagram, but we're also on Twitter and Blue Sky and all of the various things. And yeah, just join us in this test prep playoff. Kelly, I'm just going to give you the floor to share where the participants can find you too.
So I am online. So I'm on Instagram at edtech_Kelly and on TikTok at edtechkelly, and then on Twitter, or sorry, it's not Twitter anymore. It's X, Kelly Bettencourt. So I kind of cross post a little bit everywhere. So feel free to reach out. I miss the classroom. I really, really do. So I miss all the questions that I get from teachers, and I love to help people out with just little tech tips and things like that. So if that's something you're into, go ahead and hit me up.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I don't see any additional questions right now here in the chat. So I think we'll just close it up there. You are more than welcome to leave comments and we can check those back, or ask questions in our Facebook community. We do have a Facebook community. It's the Class Companion Facebook community. So join us over there. You can ask any kind of questions. You can get additional support as well. So do you want to plug that in too? Thank you again, Kelly, for joining us for this webinar, and for everybody who attended live.
Yeah, thanks everyone. This was super fun.